Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And I hope everybody had enjoyed the holidays this year. I know many of you can tell from my backdrop that I'm not in Seattle right now. I've been here helping family, and it's been an interesting journey. And so thank you all for your thoughts and prayers. My dad's home now, and we are taking good care of him. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the warmth and love and support for the Brickanista Broadcast Network and everything that you've done for the whole AFOL community. I wanted to just say we're on YouTube at a special time today. So I know some of you, my regular listeners, may not be on right now, but thank you, Glenn Copeland, for joining the stream, and Glenn Millett, and thank you, everyone. And if you like the Brickanista Broadcast Network, please remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell button so then you get further updates. But I'm so excited, and the timing couldn't have been better for this particular show, because as some of you know, I'm going through a real tough challenge because I had to come down to Arizona real quickly because of my father's illness. And he got out of the hospital after being there for almost a month. And so it's been a challenge for the family. But I wanted to say that I had a chance to talk with our special guest months ago, and we scheduled this challenge that we're going to be announcing today that's going to start on January 1st. And I am so excited to introduce to you my special guest. Hey, Brixish. Hi, Glenn Millett. Hey, Zach. My special guest is Brighton Bricks from the UK.
Hello.
Hello. It's so great to see you. And just as a formal introduction, so Nick Bright is the founder of Brighton Bricks, which started off as a way of meeting other Lego fans in the Brighton area of the UK over the years. And it has developed as more that he realized what you can use Lego for in helping people. And he now does a variety of events, workshops, and community projects, encouraging both adults and kids to learn through play. And as I mentioned, Nick had reached out to me, I think back in September. It's been several months ago. And one of the things that he had asked me is that for the Daily Brick Limit Challenge, would I be willing to have a mental health focus for the Daily Brick Limit Challenge? And I said, I would love to, but I don't own the Daily Brick Limit. That doesn't belong to me. That belongs to Joriel Built. And as I was talking with Nick a little bit more about what he was looking to do, I said, I have been doing something with Debo Bricks called Rebrick This. So if that seems like something that you may want to do, then why don't we work on that? And I reached out to Debo beforehand. I said, hey, Debo, is that okay if, we kind of work on this? And he was more than happy to also support this. So I just wanted to let everybody know that hashtag Rebrick This is a launch, and we're partnering with Brighton Bricks here. And I think Glenn Millett says Brighton Bricks will be happy right now if he follows football.
Very last minute equalizer, yes, against Chelsea. So okay. Yes, I am quite keeping an eye on the score. So yes.
So is this which team are you cheering for?
This is Brighton Hove Albion. We're in the Premier League.
Oh,
it used to be a very good team, and only for the last few years we've sort of now got into the top flight. So yeah,
right.
It is sort of
And Debo Bricks is here, so he's in full support of the hashtag Rebrick This challenge for this month of January coming up. And so, Nick, I just gave you a quick introduction, but I wanted to just give you a chance to talk about Rebrick This is only one of many challenges that you're hosting for the month, along with other AFOLs who are doing similar challenges on their own. So I was hoping that you could take a little bit of time and first of all, talk about why the month of January, and Mind the Brick, hashtag Mind the Brick is the other hashtag that we're going to be using. So welcome again. And yeah, please help us. Tell us, what is it?
Mind the Brick really came from, I've been for years now, have been doing lots of workshops and kind of on mental health. And I do Wellbeing Wednesday posts on Instagram and stuff all about mental health. And for me, I've always used Lego as a way of basically benefiting my mental health. Really it really helps with my anxiety and some of my other issues. And I kind of thought we all need to kind of talk more about mental health. We all need to be kind of far more. We all need to kind of have a better understanding of what mental health is, and it shouldn't be a taboo. It should be a subject we should be a bit more open with. So I kind of thought, and one of the things I noticed, I from doing the Daily Brick Limit and lots of other challenges on Instagram, it made me kind of realize, oh, there's such a really powerful AFL community across Instagram, YouTube, all the other kind of thing. And it was like thinking, okay, let's use the power of play, use the power of good, and sort of let's see if we can get people to kind of, by using Lego and by playing with Lego, we can help ourselves and help people. So really Mind the Bricks is going to be a month-long celebration of basically how Lego bricks can help our well-being. We want to use this month to raise awareness of mental health issues and encourage people to feel they can be open about issues they got. We're going to be, for the whole month, there's going to be lots of different online challenges and events. But one of the key things I want is, if people want to set up their own event, their own challenge, we want to have people do more stuff. So if you kind of literally in the town you live in, or the city you live in, if you just want to meet a few of your friends and build Lego in a public place or whatever, and basically all talk about mental health and just talk about how you're feeling and how you're coping with, the current situation we're in the world, that, let me know, and will help promote it. We want as much things going on in the world as possible. But so the key challenges we've got so far, most of these are on Instagram. So the first one we got is from 1st of January to the 7th. We have from Geo the Brick Jedi and Fam and Nicole S Brick Build World. We have the Lego Jan Dare, and they're using the word support as daily inspiration to build something, beginning with each letter of that day. So obviously on the 1st, you build something beginning with S.
Right.
The second day is going to be the hardest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically, I've been comments so
I think
far.
a lot of ukuleles will be on the second day.
Most I've been seeing is umbrellas and unicorns.
Oh,
so
okay.
Ukulele gives us a
ukuleles, or us, right?
Yes, very
being
and
us.
It's PPORT, and it's just about, again, just using those letters to kind of, again, it's about what supports you, all of this is in people's personal. And then obviously then we got from the 1st to the 30th, we got the rebrick this, which we'll talk about, I guess, in a bit. We've then also got from the 1st until the 24th, we got Sig Fig Your Santorium, which is where you can build your Sig Fig's Holy Chamber Mad Scientist layout. Right. Open format. The only catch is, and this is done by Blockhead 23. He's got one catch. He says you have to include at least one micro figure into your build,
which I love, especially with the new Friends Advent calendar.
Yes.
In fact, would it be helpful for me to share your page while you're talking through some of these?
Yes, you can do. Yeah.
Okay, why don't I do that? So people, because I'm a visual person, and sometimes that helps to have the visual to kind of go along with that. So he just mentioned about Instagram, Geo the Brick Jedi, and just so everybody knows, this is the Mind the Brick challenges. The link is in the description of this YouTube channel, so feel free to go there. And then we'll talk about rebrick this in just a moment. But here's the one he just talked about, the Blockhead 23 from January 1st to January 24th, about hashtag Sigvig Your Sanctum.
And then we've got, and that will be based off sets 76185, which is the Doctor Strange.
Yes, and Debo Bricks is a big fan of Doctor Strange, and when I saw this, I said, I love microdolls. I also, would a baby figure work as a micro figure? Do you know?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm going to throw it in anyway.
I think so. Yeah. It's micro enough, so yeah.
Micro enough, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to get set 76185. So it's very similar to what we're doing, but based off of set 76185. right?
So I think that one is, I don't know about in my local store, that's sold
Mhm.
out at the moment. So
Oh,
that was the one I
okay.
was hoping to get for Christmas, but
Ah,
unfortunately, yes, I wasn't able to get it. So
okay.
I'm hopefully visiting the Lego store tomorrow. So I have my
Yeah,
finger.
I might have to see if you can get it online too, because we
Yeah.
still have it's the whole month, right? Until the
Yes,
24th.
exactly. Yeah.
So you still have time to get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. And then here's this Twitter one as
Yeah.
well.
We've got there's someone gentleman named Bob Vintage Brick, who some
Mhm.
people might know. He did the Red Dwarf Lego Ideas project. Uh,
Oh, okay.
he did a couple of them, and he does on a regular thing on a Monday. He does like going to host a special basically movie night where
Mhm.
he, on Twitter he posts pictures from films Lego but recreated in Lego form, and basically you just got to guess the films
Oh. Oh,
and
that
make
sounds
sure
like
you
fun.
guess and make sure you guess it has to be even sequel appropriate, so you can't just say
Ah.
Die Hard. You'd have to say Die Hard 2 or Die Hard,
Oh,
whatever.
wow. Okay.
So it's like that. He will be hosting on Monday the 10th a special. I
Mhm.
should have wrote on the thing on my there 6 p.m. That's GMT. So
GMT, right? Okay.
I need to remember to write that actually.
Yeah, you might even want to do a table
Yes,
for people challenged like me who have to so when I'm in Arizona, I'm on Mountain Time, and then when I'm in Seattle, I'm in Pacific Time, so there's, all kinds of I think the other thing a friend of mine has been teaching me about is UTC, so then that way, if you know your UTC time, you can do the calculation pretty easily.
what's UTC? I'm trying to think.
Universal time, I think. So I think I'm UTC -7, I think,
Okay.
in when I'm in Seattle. And so my friend who is, I think she's UTC +8 because she's in Australia.
Yeah.
But let's stick with GMT because that's
Yeah, I about to
easier
say
for
that's
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Uh, and so
And then
yeah, he's hosting a special kind of guess the computer game recreation
right.
or special for one off as part of that. Again,
You have to follow his Twitter, and then
yeah,
you
you
can
just follow him
guess.
on Twitter.
Right,
And to say if you're a Red Dwarf fan, you want to follow him anyway because he's got he posts a lot of stuff about that. It's over
right,
which very good British comedy. So and then this is just the pictures of what they are.
right. So
Um,
if you go to Brighton Bricks, so at sign Brighton Bricks, and look at his Instagram feed, you'll see these photos of the different challenges for Mind the Brick.
Plus, on Instagram, I post say regularly, and I will be posting for a lot during the whole of January. Basically, lots of
Hmm.
mental health information, and one of the things I want from basically part of what I also want from doing this is other people's suggestions and advice and tips. So, because we want this isn't going to be this month isn't about me telling everybody what they should do. This is basically an opportunity for everyone to talk and to listen. And I mean, one of the key things I will is because we're trying to attract people from all over the world is
Hmm.
um, what sort of mental health organisations who mental health helplines from all over the world which are useful. So we want like if you live in Australia or if you live in
Hmm.
America or
Right.
France or wherever, we want because we want one of the things also on my page I'm creating a resource list of which will have details. So if you are needing help or looking for kind of organizations,
Hmm.
it's going to have that, and that's going to be the useful information for people. And so I want as much stuff as that as possible, really, because again, I don't know. Yeah, I have to admit I don't know what is the
Well,
the
there's so many.
organization for Bulgaria. So I mean, I'm afraid I
Right.
don't know that.
Well, I've sent to you a couple different resources that I was aware of, and one of them is SAMHSA, which
Mm,
is pronounced SAMHSA, even though it's SAMSHA. And I don't have the whole acronym for, but the reason why I'm familiar with that one is that through my consulting services, I had worked with the Center for Child Traumatic Stress, which was at a Duke University. And I had this whole education of the different kinds of trauma that children go through in various things, whether it's war or things happening at home or, a medical emergency. And what I really was profound in that experience was that how those traumas also carry into adult life. And so Lego is a perfect bridge for that, because Lego could be used for the children who are in that frame of mind at the moment, and then also to kind of process through those challenges that you might have too as an adult. And Glenn, having COVID and not having enough energy to really build Lego sets suck. Yeah, I think the other thing, and this is something I want to share with you, Brighton Bricks, is that I have started doing more adult coloring books because I have found, and maybe Glenn, this might help you too, is that sometimes I find that working on my Lego is actually causing me stress. And that I'm in the middle of a very stressful moment right now, also with my dad's illness. So the other thing is to also, as an AFOL, have permission that if Lego isn't working for you right now for whatever reason, there are other ways that you can also work on this and talk with different people.
I also think sometimes we can be, again, it's our own selves. We always bit hard we always feel we have to make something which is the most wonderful, best thing in the world and create. And one of the things I try and do is sometimes just the actual art of playing. And this is what I try and teach in workshops. And it's like, sometimes even if you just have 6 bricks, 6 2x4s, and you literally just move them around and see how many combinations you can make, that can help just kind of be a bit of a kind of fidget bit. One of the other things I encourage people to, and this is actually my son made this particular one, I'm trying to remember it, is I do these hearts, and basically they're just using 2x1 bricks, and basically I do this, and it's one of the things I get a lot of times non-Lego fans to build these things because they don't necessarily understand, but it's a simple pattern they have to follow. But by choosing the color, what they want to put, they can then insert their own personality. They can insert their own. But even if they just literally make it one color, it's just that feeling of sticking a brick next to a brick will help you. So in some sense, kind of, if you don't have the strength to kind of really build a Lego set or anything like that, just almost get a couple of bricks together and just sort of just put them together.
It takes your mind out of the focus of whatever drama is happening in your life. And that's kind of how you and I started talking, because the daily brick limit was a way every day you take 1 brick, 2 bricks, 3 bricks, and then you can build something and don't feel the pressure that you have to build a set or you have to build something fabulous. You can just build something that's 2 or 3 bricks, and then that would be for the day. You don't have to do every day. You can just pick it up. Like today's the 29th, so you could pick 29 bricks to put together.
Which reminds me, I still haven't done my one for today. I've got.
No, see, that's the thing, though. It's no pressure. Don't feel like you have to do it. I was the co-host of that, and I can't even do every day.
I'm on the street. I've done it since 1st of July. I'm not as good as you had someone who did it.
Ms. Flobricta. She's the queen of the daily brick limit. She has done every day for the entire year, and she only has 2 or 3 more days to go. And
I've would have done almost half a year. I've done it from the 1st of July when I found out about it, because for me, it is just that kind of idea of, it doesn't have to be good. It's just about putting bricks together, and it's okay. Yeah, that's a bit of 3D sculpture. That's the kind of thing.
It could be abstract.
Yeah, and that's what it to me is about. Okay, that's a couple of minifigures. Boom, but it's more about but then sometimes it's about the thought. Go, all right, I want to take some pictures of a couple of minifigures. All right, where do I want to take it? And it's more, again, taking me out of the worries, taking me out of the go. Okay. And just having fun, and it's weirdly enough, having a child, I have a 4-year-old, and that has really changed my attitude a lot to Lego. So I've become, in time before, I was a proper AFAL, pure, it is for adults only. And more, I'm going, I now let my little one play with most of my sets he will play with, even my giant Death Star,
Oh,
but he
wow.
knows,
He
but he
knows.
knows how to behave with it because I
Yeah,
said, he
it's
sort of knows,
fragile. You
he
have to
knows,
be
well,
very careful with it.
there's two Lego sets. There's ones which he can play with and break, and if they break, that doesn't care. But he also knows there's daddy's ones where
Be
you try
careful
not
around
to,
it.
and but it's weird. It's only kind of that and playing with that, you get that sense of how he enjoys playing with the minifigures, and it's doing things like that, and it's like little things like, say, like this morning when I asked him, he saw
Hmm.
I did this a different one of this for the Daily Brick Limit yesterday,
Oh,
left
cool.
it on my table in the front room and he saw it this morning and said, "What is that? Oh, can I build one?" So
Oh,
I
nice.
had to, I sort of had to help him put it together, but he chose the colours and the order. But again, it's those little things like, yeah, it is about. I just seen someone comment about the stickers.
Yeah, the
Yes,
comments have been interesting too. So yeah, Glenn Millett was talking about sometimes when you're building a set, you feel like you have, everything has to be perfect, especially stickers. I feel your
yeah,
pain, Glenn,
oh yeah,
about stickers. And I'm actually going to be doing a post about sticker hacks, Lego sticker hacks, using Windex cleaner, the sticker sheet, and then also putting things on a longer piece so that when you stick them on, you have a little more leverage.
I
So
find
stay tuned
using
for that.
I find using the brick separator helps.
Yes, the
Yeah,
brick
I do.
separator is a good thing.
Yeah,
But so yeah, Glenn, we understand your pain when it
yeah.
comes to the perfectionism too.
And I just
And
included one's comment again, sorting your Lego as well. Again, these are the
yes,
sort of things where even if you don't have time to build, yeah, sort a few parts out.
hmm
It is
oh,
about.
sorting is so
Mm,
therapeutic too, because you feel like once you have things sorted, that things are available, right?
mm.
And that you know that what you have and what you can use. And Glenn also said that they think that Lego should do a set honoring the National Health Sciences staff. I believe that's
National Health Service.
oh, National
So
Health Service.
this is the basically obviously you have private Medicare or whatever it is in the we basically NHS is basically everyone in the UK basically gets free medical treatment due to the NHS, and
Hmm.
obviously they have been doing an amazing work during COVID, and it is kind of I mean I say maybe that's one someone should try and build for Lego ideas.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome. And I think the other thing, you and I have touched on this in a previous conversation about how the other thing that has been about mental health right now in COVID is that so many people have felt isolated and
Mm,
alone, and that having the AFOL community and so many people like Hooded One and Debo Bricks and Doc Sampson. Hello, yes, I'm in Arizona. I mean, we have met through this virtual AFOL
mm,
community, and with the exception of Doc Sampson, I have not met them in person.
mm,
We know each other through this little video
mm.
square box, but we have this affinity and this fellowship all because of Lego. And that to me is very special. And I find that very important, which is why even though I'm here in Arizona and I have told my family I have to carve this time out for my Lego time. They don't understand it, but I have to do this. If you want me to be happy, I have to have this Lego time.
Yeah. And I mean, I found this particularly this year because this is the year I really got into sort of Instagram and Instagram challenges. And
Mhm.
it is the amount of community there is, the amount of people who are doing challenges, the amount of people who, the fact that, I mean, it sounds silly, this, but the fact that you can end up talking to someone who was on Lego Masters, the TV show, just like a normal person, because they are a normal person, but that's what to me is quite amazing how there is just, you can talk to people from where around the
Mhm.
world, and it's like, you know,
You're in the UK, and
yeah,
I'm usually in Seattle.
yeah,
So
uh,
and and that's, I think, one of the things that really intrigued me was that you reached out to me and you said, I'm working on this project
mm,
in the month of January, and I'd really like to be able to put the daily brick limit as part of one of those
mm,
challenges. And then as we were talking some
yeah,
more, I said, well, I really want to support you, but I can't use daily brick limit. So how about rebrick this? And that's part of what we're also going to talk about today, because the rebrick this challenge for the month of January is going to start January 1st and it's going to end on January 30th. And Brighton Bricks, Nick, will be back to do a review with me. And this is the set. So I'll just let
yeah.
me see. Hopefully I can do this. This is the aerial assault set and 76145. And it's the other reason why I picked this set is that I had found out about this set through another AFOL named PNW Lego, who's Cass McClellan, who's been on my show before. So we built this together on stream already. And Nick has already built this. So he wanted to share with you what it looks like fully built. And you can see there's so many cool parts in this, and it's very reasonably priced. I think in the US it's $9.99 retail US dollar.
It's $8.99 in the UK.
Mm-hmm. And I also saw on Target, I think it's $7.99. You can get it cheaper. But part of the reason why we wanted to use this set is that we wanted to mention that we wanted something affordable that people could easily get, and it is available now very, very easily. And the other cool thing about this is that it has some cool parts. It has some gold parts in here. It's got those translucent here. We're going to give you the close up. Those
Yeah.
trans wings, those trans pearlescent black wings.
And you
You
get
get
you
like
get
12 of
lots.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really, really cool.
You
So
get
I
your
wanted to give people an excellent parts pack as well as a fun challenge to do. So one thing you can do
and
is,
you get 2 minifigures as well to go
yes,
with
you
it as
get
well.
two
So you get,
minifigs too. So you can actually build a story from
yeah,
this,
and they got
which is
ones like short,
awesome.
yeah,
Here, I'll let
one
you
short
go
legs.
ahead and give you the full screen again if you want to show that again. Yeah, those two little minifigs are Sprite, which is the little one, and Icarus, which is the larger one. So I haven't seen the movie yet. Have you seen the movie?
No, I was going to see it, but again, due to Christmas and all that stuff, I couldn't see it. But it is coming to, without sounding like an advert, it is coming to Disney Plus in January.
Yes, yes. So that timing is also really great. With most of the shops closed, it might be hard for me to find the set though. Well, you can also do this digitally. So the other reason why we picked a set like this is that if you do Studio, if you use the Studio program and you can download the parts from this and then actually build it in Studio. So don't feel like you have to buy the set, because you can also participate in this challenge virtually if you want to use the Studio program. And so we picked this set because, like I said, it's a good parts pack. It's got 2 minifigs. It's reasonably priced. And what we want to do is really focus on mental health and mental health awareness. And if you can build a mock using most of these pieces, so for those of you who've participated in the Rebrick This challenges before, we've usually restricted all of your pieces to just what's in the box. But what Nick and I decided just before the stream is that you can use, if 90% of your build is using this, that means it's 133 pieces. So you have a 13 piece allowance. So if you have other pieces you want to add to this, but mostly from this set, and you do get a base plate as a freebie. So if you have a 32 by 32 base plate or a 16 by 16 plate, anything that you need to build upon it, that is a gimme. So just we really want to see your creativity, but more importantly, we want to raise awareness of mental health and mental health issues. And if you don't have the set, you don't have Studio, if you just want to post that you've done a donation to the mental health charity of your choice, then that counts too. We just want to raise awareness and
I
see
just
as many
you
builds as
just had a
possible.
you just had, a chat with a friend or something like that, or a chat with someone about, and being more open. Maybe you have, people out there listening have mental health issues, or maybe they know somebody who does. And
Mhm.
I would almost say one of the big things I think is maybe you don't, but people don't, but they know someone who does, and it is. I think sometimes listening and properly listening is one of the most key things. I think we all need to understand more, rather than most time we are just waiting for our turn to talk. It is we need to have learn those skills of active listening, and where we actually going to go,
Mhm.
okay, really understand, and that's what then helps people. But someone just Joel has started with Trevor says, does the rebrick mock have to be about mental health? I
I
would say,
I I think it would be nice,
yeah,
but if you build it and it gives you comfort and helps with your
mm,
mental health, if you can describe that. So you build it or you build
yeah,
your mock and you say, "This is what I built, and it means a lot to me because it reminds me of my childhood and a happier time," or
or
something
even,
along those lines.
or even just the fact that by building it has made you feel better, has given
Yes,
you, has increased your well-being, then that is sort of, yeah,
right.
we want it to be also about what your interpretation of mental health well-being is.
Mhm,
So it's it can be, so theoretically your well-being is both a positive thing, and it can be a positive thing. So it can be about what makes you happy,
mhm,
what makes, what really gets you up in the day, gets you up in the morning. It
right.
could be more about darker, so if you have mental health illnesses and stuff like that, what is anxiety to you, what is depression to you? But it could also just be, I love playing with Lego, I want to build an alien,
Right.
it could just be that. So
Yeah, and the other thing too, and Debo just brought this up, the rebrick is mental health because what you're doing is you're looking at things in a new way.
yeah.
So this is what they've given you. This is the model and this is the set. So feel free to build the set if you want, or just take the set and the parts and rebrick this into whatever you feel is going to give you, joy. So if you've seen the previous rebrick this challenges, and Debo knows this, every single month that I've done a rebrick this challenge, I have made a pirate ship or a ship of some sort because that gives me joy. So don't be surprised if you see a
I'm trying to,
ship come out of this
yeah, I'm
when
trying to see how, what sort of, mm,
there
I
will
think
be a
could be the
ship.
sea, could be the waves of the
It
sea.
could be. It could be. We'll see.
Yeah,
So one thing too, don't feel like you have to use every single part in the box. Because the other thing that I've mentioned on several streams is sometimes I will deliberately take a piece out. For example, we had a rebrick this challenge of the Captain America set, which was a mech set. It was reasonably priced, really great parts, but it had this 8x8 shield piece in it,
mm,
and it was like the elephant in the room, right? And many people, we had lots of turtles, we had several Star Trek enterprises, and I said sometimes you have to deliberately take a piece out
mm,
because then it focuses your mind too much on having to use that piece in a certain way.
mm,
So that's the other thing, is that don't feel like you have to use every single piece in the box. Just try to use as many as you can. As far as whatever your final build is, should be like 90% of the build should be from pieces in this set.
mm.
And if you just want to build the set and just say, I just built the set and it made me feel good, and I really appreciate having a chance to build this set, that's fine too. We want to make this easy on everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point. It's meant to be fun,
Hmm.
Lego is meant to be, and so even though this is the kind of theme of this is mental health, as I just said a moment ago, mental health is positive as well. It is, it is positive. It's about, how we can help each other. So yeah, I'm just really curious to see. It's because to me, it's one of those sets where I'm looking at it and go, I can't see what I could do yet, and that's what interests me. Going, okay, what could I do?
Hmm.
What can I, what can I turn this into? And it is sort of, yeah. I think that's to me, and one of it also, I like the idea of the rebrick challenges, and this is interesting, is the whole, one of the things what I love about Lego is the whole environmental aspect to it, is that Lego's a toy which is not thrown away. It could be, generation. And the idea then, and I used to do lots of workshops with kids and stuff like that. And a lot of times the kids will go, oh, I build something, and then I just leave it on the shelf and I don't know what to do with it. And that's what a lot of times some people will just do that. And to me, this is a challenge really great. Is about to go, all right, you've done that. Now you can take it apart and think about.
You have permission.
Yeah,
exactly. Because I think a lot of people feel they buy a set and then they make it the way the instructions are and they put it on the shelf and they say, well, what's the next set that I'm going to build? And this is another reason why the hashtag rebrick this challenge has been awesome, because it gives you permission to take a set. This is what we're asking you to do. We're asking you to take a set, tear it apart, put it together in some other way. And some of the comments in the chat, like Hooded One, still has that build from the Captain America set that I was mentioning. And Zach Martinez said that rebrick was a lot of fun. And then Brick Literacy said it was probably his favorite rebrick. So if you want to do that too, go back to the time that I will probably put that into the description if you want to watch the Rebrick This review of the Captain America set. It was really interesting about all the turtles and the Enterprise ships, because that shield was so important. But since Brick Literacy is here, I really like what he did. Is he used, it's almost, I think it's Sisyphus who had to push the rock up the hill. It was the metaphor, and that the shield was a burden to carry, and that having to push it up the hill and having to hold up to that honor that comes with the shield. So I thought that was a really poignant way to use it. Cyber Drone was another one we did. So yes, Doc Sampson. I'm glad people remember what we did for Rebrick This challenges. So it's great that we're rebooting it. And so we're rebooting it for the first of the year. And hi, Alyssa. Glad to see you here. Hope you're having an amazing holiday season. It's been an interesting one. In fact, I'll be honest with you, just being on this stream right now has made me feel so much better, because right now the stress at home has gotten to me, and I know, and sometimes it's not just mental health. It's also when you know you're losing patience over something, or you feel like your life has been turned upside down, and it really hasn't been turned upside down, but you just kind of feel like it has. That's also another reason why I think the Rebrick This challenge is going to be really good for that. And then Brick Literacy says he never uses all the pieces, but some people can. Let's see, I'm just catching up on the chat. When the Creator Majestic Tiger comes out on Saturday, you might try and make an orangutan out of it. Yes, wow. Absolutely.
But the tiger one does look good, though.
Yeah, that does look like a great one.
I'm very tempted by.
All these people still have their mocks from the Captain America rebrick. That's great. Glenn Copeland too. This is awesome. Yeah. And yeah, so I just wanted to mention that we are so excited about this. So what we're going to do is we are going to put together, I have another post that I'll post on January 1st. So you probably saw the story that I posted and that Nick was going to be on this show. And I wanted to, before we, kind of wrap things up, I also wanted to ask you about just your motivation for doing this. You had mentioned about the AFOL community, but are there any other success stories that you might want to share with us about what has happened since you started the Mind the Brick challenge? I think you mentioned a bit the BBC as one of them.
Right? I'd say since I've been doing Brighton Bricks, which is now I discovered a few years ago, I sort of discovered more how it can be used for mental health. And I do a lot of well-being workshops with businesses, charities and organizations. And then through that, I've been recognized. So a few years ago, I've been on BBC Radio a couple of times now talking about, I also do things like minifigure trails, which unfortunately, if any of you are in the Brighton area of the UK, there's two really good ones at the moment in our area, but that's probably a bit too far for a lot of you to travel. But I do lots of other events and stuff like that. Well-being, and it's discovering basically kind of how well, and because it's my own person, I've mainly discovered it through my own personal journey and my own personal mental health story. I mean, I even, to say, the stuff I do to all promote, I don't know if any of you know, I think you have it in America, you have it called the Shark Tank or Shark thing.
Shark Tank, yes.
Yeah, in the UK we have it called Dragon's Den. Yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah. I think it's the same concept with different entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs that you pitch to. Yeah.
One of the dragons on that, a guy called Theo Petitis, he also runs a chain of retail shops and stuff. He's on that show. He really supports small businesses, and basically on Twitter he does a thing called Small Business Sunday, I should go. And he basically anyone can tweet him, and then on the Monday he picks 6 people each week and he retweets them, and you're sort of part of this sort of SBS club. And about I was saying a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, wherever it was, I got picked. And what the work I do for my workshops and mental health and stuff like that. And again, it's things like that where you're going to realize that, okay, you kind of the recognition of how that it does make you kind of feel like, okay, it gives you the impetus. And that's the things like that is what, especially particularly during the lockdown where I couldn't do any of my events, couldn't do any workshops, couldn't really do anything. And so it has helped me really, again, and that sort of doing all those things has sort of made me, particularly this year as well. I did a couple of big events this year. For anyone who's kind of knows about SEO, a part of websites and stuff, there's a very big
search engine optimization for those of you who want to know.
There's a very big conference in Brighton, which actually people from around the world do actually travel to. And I actually got, and it feels bad almost saying this, I got paid to basically play with Lego for 2 days. It sounds, and basically I was there, basically encouraging adults, basically, while they're doing, in between the talks and seminars and all that, to basically build Lego, build mosaics, build the brick hearts, which I was showing earlier. We just built, and it was through that, and again, it was through the conversations I was having with people, is realizing how much a lot of non-Lego fans don't realize the benefit. I think a lot of Lego fans AFOLs will know the benefit and go, yeah, this makes me feel good. I'm happier when I do it. But there's so many people who don't get, and even with these, I'm not suggesting everyone has to suddenly become a major Lego fan, but it's more about the idea of just being open to accept that if you're not a Lego fan, build something, even something good, because you might still enjoy it. You may not want to build anymore, but it's still that process. It's a really good mindful process, like you were talking about the coloring in books. It's that very
it unlocks a different part of your brain, and it gives you a chance also to reconnect with a joyful time, hopefully, in your life too. And I think you also touched on something about AFOLs maybe coming out of their dark ages, but also adults discovering Lego for the first time. Because we always talk about, I just got to my dark ages, but many people are just being introduced to Lego now too. And that's what I love about your workshops.
Yeah, and this is, you get a lot of people who on these workshops go, oh yeah, my kids have got Lego. Yeah, I know, I've done that. And then so you go, all right, because I think a lot of people assume Lego is just big bricks, 2x4s, that type of thing. And then when you get to show people kind of mosaics and stuff like that, I'm trying to, this is a little one I made the other day.
Yeah, let me show you that. Yep.
I still can't get used to this camera.
Oh, I love that with the gingerbread man.
Yeah. This was the 12 days of Christmas mosaics thing. But again, getting adults to just do things like that or make patterns and stuff like that, there's a number of them who just went, no, I really enjoyed this, actually. And it is just about that sort of making them go, yeah, that was
actually a relief, and it was soothing. Yes.
because you all hear the trends of people, lots of activities are now very mindful and it's all very good. People always talk about how knitting is very mindful, it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem to me is knitting, and this is why Lego is so much better, is if you want to knit, you have to know how to knit. If you want to build Lego, you don't have to know how to build Lego. All you need to know is how to put two things together.
Right.
Literally, that is, as long as you can put two bricks together,
Mm-hmm.
that's Lego. That's all you need to know. And that to me is what the beauty of, playing with Lego is the fact that that's what, if you can put two bricks together, then you put a third brick, then a fourth brick, then a fifth brick, and suddenly, and if you then don't like what you build, you take it apart and rebuild it. It is about, and this again, what I love about, again, this challenge as well, is that sometimes also I find with adults, particularly with all of these challenges, I'm going to be trying to promote them to non-Lego fans, and hopefully, and I think this is a really good challenge, because one of the things this is, I also notice doing my mosaic workshops, constraints are really good to help people. A lot of adults, I found, when you give them a massive pile of bricks and they say, build whatever you like, will freeze and not know what they want to do. But if you give people, say, you can only build with these parts, people suddenly go, oh, okay, all right, yeah. If you're going to go, all right, it has to be a mosaic, or it has to be this, or you give them and the fact that with this, you're saying to people, it can only be these parts, it means, okay, you just got to play around with these parts and say, okay, which bits go together, which bits don't,
Right.
and that to me is
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
beauty of it, is that you kind of, you are kind of challenging you think, and it's so, if you're not a creative person, I have to admit, even though I'm a massive Lego fan, I'm not that, I feel I'm definitely not that creative. And I use, part of the reason I do these challenges is to try and rebuild my creativity.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
ultra creative as a kid, but then for 20 odd years, I've done jobs where creativity hasn't been rewarded. And so thus I've been it's been kicked out of me, so to speak. And that's why I'm trying to bring
No,
this.
no, let's not get kicked out of you.
And
We're
that's why I
we're
don't. That's
bringing
why
it out of you.
exactly, we shouldn't. And that's why I'm
Yes.
trying to rebuild it. And these, to me, I feel safe doing a challenge like this.
It's fun.
Because you can say, okay, it can only use these parts, then there's not a limit go, oh, well, but someone else has got loads of really cool parts and
Yeah,
I haven't got.
exactly. It's got an even
Yeah,
playing field. Everybody has the
yeah,
same parts. We are giving an allowance if it helps you
yeah.
to really make your mock shine. But the other thing I should mention is you don't have to stop at one rebrick this. In fact, Debo and I, when we were hosting this, each one of us usually did a minimum of 2 or 3, sometimes more. So you have the entire month. So you can do, one week, another week, or, just one for the whole
Yeah,
month.
I'm planning to build something. I don't know what I'm going to build yet. I'm sort of,
No, you
but
don't
I am
have to
planning. I
know.
know whatever I
Most
build,
of us don't know what we're going to build.
I'm going to build it, and I know I'm going to take it apart. Unless it is amazing, then I won't probably. But I will most likely will take it apart and rebuild something else, just because I'm going, oh, because I imagine what's most likely to happen when I'm building it. I will
Right.
probably go, oh, I could have done that. Oh, maybe I'll do that next time.
Hmm.
And that's, to me, this is going to be the fun. Just going, what else could this be? And it is. It is because of these parts a bit. I mean, these. Yeah. I mean,
Well, and it's funny. Debo's saying goodbye because he says he's off to dinner. He's going to reheat this instead of rebrick this. So, but I do want to say that Debo and I had started this last year, and I'm really glad Debo was on the show today because it was one of those things that we have been part of another community, Tricky Lug, where they had a rebrick this challenge of the Mandalorian and the Child, and we loved it so much that we said, why don't we do some rebrick challenges since they hadn't been doing them, and they said it was fine. So it's really just this came from another community where we started doing this, and we just love to be able to share. And I think that's the other message that I wanted to mention is that if you have a challenge that you have been doing for the community over the last year or so, and you want to get on this Mind the Brick thing, just reach out to Brighton Bricks. And Brighton Bricks, the best way to reach you is through your Instagram account, right?
I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I think everything. The only thing I haven't really got hang of is YouTube. That's one of the things I probably should try and do. So,
well, you're on YouTube now.
I know. So yeah,
you're on YouTube today. So,
well,
yeah.
technically, I do have a YouTube channel, but it is just a pub video, so not the most exciting thing. So yeah.
Right. I just corrected this, but here's a little banner for you that if you want to follow Brighton Bricks on Instagram at Brighton Bricks, and you said you're on Twitter as well as some other platforms.
And Brighton Bricks on Twitter as well. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So feel free to follow Nick there. And I just also wanted to say, how cool is it that your name is Nick Bright and that your handle is Brighton Bricks?
Yeah.
And you live in Brighton.
Yeah. It is, I mean, it's one of the ones where, and even one of the things I've only fairly recently just worked out, there's even a pun. My name, Brighton Bricks, could also be bright
on bricks. Exactly.
So
exactly. You have the coolest handle.
I'm just sort of very, very, it's just one of those kind of fate things, I think, where when I was thinking of what to call myself, because it's like when I set up Brighton Bricks, it's a bit like, well, we're in Brighton. So I want Brighton in the name. I know we can't really use the word Lego because Lego doesn't like that.
No, don't ever use Lego in your name if you can. That's why I'm the Brickanista instead of the Legonista.
Yes, it's sort of, and so thus, and it's sort of, though weirdly enough, unfortunately, I can't actually. In the UK, we have a thing called Companies House, where if you want to register a business name, that's where you register it. Unfortunately, that's why my business actually is under a different name because Brighton Bricks is a project under this business because there is a building company in Brighton who has the official name. Yet I have the website, I have all the social media handles. So it's one of those very unfortunate where legally I'm not.
You were first to the social media game, even though they've had the name officially registered. Well, it's interesting because Brickanista is also, the Brickanista Broadcast Network is also a sub channel, I guess, of my other company, which is 1,000 Crane Studios. So it's the same thing. But and Glenn Copeland just said, "Are you not on TikTok?"
No, I don't know if I'm too old for it.
No, you're not too old for TikTok. I have a TikTok account.
It's sort of, I mean, apart from what do people do with Lego on TikTok? Because all I know of TikTok is
you should follow Tiago Catarino. He does little micro builds where he'll do a micro build of furniture on TikTok. And then some other people, Cody Otley also does he does little funny skits and things on TikTok where he'll talk about his sorting room, how it's all in disarray. And there's this song that's oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. He'll just film his Lego room. And that's, it's just goofy things. And I've been using TikTok for my dog. So I just did one of my dog with their Lego toy that they just got from Target. Yeah. So Bright on Brick sounds like a talk show. That's true. Yeah. See, if you do get your YouTube channel, then you can do your Bright on Bricks.
I start going to podcasting.
Or if you want to, maybe we could do a regular show. We could do it like it's Bright on Bricks.
Yeah. And the weather is I'm really actually jealous of when you're saying Target. I'm so jealous of what the new range they've got.
Yeah,
you see all the photos and you sort of like, it's the classic space plush toys, which I quite like.
I couldn't get one of those. They were so in demand. I was not able to get that. I am wearing this, so this is a Target shirt. So I've got the little minifig shirt for the women's t-shirt.
They've got a snowman collection, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I've got that too. That's this. So you've got those like the big
Yeah.
pretzel and some other things. Yeah. Yeah, we have quite a few things that came out of that. But what we'll do is that we have I know that you have some things in the UK that we don't have. For example, the the Fiat, the light blue Fiat, we
Don't you
can't
have
get
that?
that. We don't have it.
Oh,
No,
okay,
that was a test run where they were trying out new colors in other markets
but
and the
there's
UK.
also there was a Crater 3-in-1 dinosaur which they've done now.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you
Yes,
have
we've
that?
got no, we don't have those
You don't
colors.
even have that as well. Oh, okay.
No.
I didn't really.
We can be envious of you for
Yeah.
that. You can be envious of us for the Target stuff. But
Yes.
in the end, it all doesn't matter because for mental health awareness, we can recognize our envy, but not have it control us.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
And we can't own everything, unfortunately, because my house is not big enough to own everything I want.
yeah, I think that's the other thing is maybe that's another mental health awareness issue is maybe we'll talk about sorting as a follow-up to this. But is there another event that you're planning for 2022? Besides for the month of January, because we can maybe plan something for the future.
I'm doing regular. I want to do. I mean, I will do regular. I do regular posts anyway. But so I really wanted to kind of keep a really big focus on this. But I will then want to do stuff throughout the year. So again, it's one of those things where I'm going to always open to kind of. It's one of those sort of open to anything really. I mean, we do. I do. So I probably do too much. I mean, we have also COVID depending. We have a Lego show on in the beginning of January.
Mm-hmm.
Again, apart from the Mind Brick, we're doing quite a few different events in Brighton. I'm also doing. I did this before a few years ago, and where we live build a Lego set in a shop window.
Oh,
And
that must
we're
be
doing
fun.
it again for a local Sussex charity, like local charity for we deal with children who are very ill children. And so we're going to be building the Harry Potter minifigure one, the big minifigure.
Oh yeah, that
and
massive one, yeah.
Yeah, and the Adidas shoe in the window. And so in the shop window, so I'm going to be in a shop window building,
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Look at me, think, what am
I'm
I?
going to have to see if I can find a shop that will let me do that
Yeah.
too. There's a lot of chat talking about how what's available in the UK versus what's available here. See, this is the envy part I was talking about. And that Joel has a good point here where he says, Lego and FOMO is a mental health hazard.
Yes, it is very true. I still have
fear of missing out. Yes.
I have a few now. There's a couple of sets where I missed out on, and I still have, like real anxiety over about missing out. And that's why sometimes, and I know shouldn't do this, but sometimes I will buy sets thinking, oh, I better get it in case it sells out.
Right.
And I've got so many. I'm very unhealthy. Almost how many unopened.
Well, we shouldn't say it's a mental health hazard. It's actually a mental health awareness, and this is what we're talking about. Yes. And here's another point too, that the Lego Target collection, you were talking about all the cool things, and Zach Martinez mentioned it's broken his Christmas budget. Seems like you get everything every time you go there. And I feel you too, because it's like, oh, but that weekend bag is so cool. And the ribbon is so cool and the wrapping paper is so cool. But that's why we wanted to keep this budget, since we're talking about budget, very reasonably priced. You should be readily available through lego.com as well as at some of the local shops, at least since we were talking about Target, you can get it from Target. And I imagine some of the shops there in the UK should have.
It will be in all kind of both the Lego shop, plus will be other kind of major toy retailers. Just because it's a new set, it's a Marvel set, so we'll have that kind of. But it is, and again, I quite like this set opposed to doing another. Like you could have picked a small creator set. But in some sense, creator sets are designed to be rebuilt. What I like this is that this isn't designed to rebuild. So imagine when the designers picked this, they probably weren't thinking, is somebody going to turn it into a pirate ship? They probably weren't thinking
Probably not.
And that leaves, what great is that suddenly, if you do a pirate ship, no pressure now, but if someone does, so it's like that's, again, it's that sort of, there is no,
there is no roadmap for this.
Yeah.
Once you build the set, then you can build whatever you want, and you can even add 13 pieces as a grace budget for whatever mock. And once again, we're going to do this from January 1st through January 30th because Nick will be back, and we will look at what people have created, and we will give you an update on what time that will be, because that's usually on my Sunday channel, and make sure Nick will be available at that time, because it's usually 1 p.m. Pacific, which would be 9 p.m. your time. But stay tuned. We will put all of the announcements for the time, because this time is not my usual time. And I just wanted to thank you, because it's midnight your time right now.
Yes, it is midnight, yeah.
So I really appreciate you taking the 1 hour of your time to be on the show in order so we can have the official kickoff and that everybody meet you and look at the great work that you're doing. And once again, if you're not familiar with Nick Bright of Brighton Bricks, please follow him on Brighton Bricks on Instagram. And as many of you know, you're listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network here. And if you did like this, please make sure to like the stream. Like the stream and subscribe. And that way you'll get updates on the different things that we're doing here. But I'm on the road right now, so I'm not going to be giving a mailing address. But I do want to thank you again, Nick, for inviting me to be part of this. I think my own mental health has needed this, especially right now. And I really appreciate you and everything that you're doing to raise awareness of this important issue. And thank you for the invitation. And anybody else, the invitation is open to all of you.
And that's
if you have challenges too.
And it's not about the reason it's about anyone doing anything. And if literally it's a challenge you're doing, just someone does, them and their family tell me about it. We can tell other people. It's not about getting. And again, this whole thing of this it's not about number of likes. It's not about number of views. It's not about. It is literally about quality over quantity. This is about if I can touch one person and make a difference in at least one person's life, this whole month has been a success. And that's all really, that's going to be, and that's why, so if you just got any idea, if like, oh, that'd be really cool. The other thing I'm also going to be doing as well is, so if you got no idea of a challenge or anything, I will also be hopefully doing on my page as well a sort of mental health gallery. So if anyone's built anything which not involving this set or any other challenge, and just go look, they think to them they're building about what represents well-being or what represents depression.
And that could just be Mind the Brick, right? They could just put hashtag Mind the Brick.
Yeah, they just tag the Mind Brick, and I could also speak to them and I ask them for permission if they want like me to add it to the gallery. So that will go on my website as well. And again, it's about promoting, and we'll be sharing that. So we just want to share the creativity, share, because more people do things like this. People discover doing challenges. Doing some of your challenges, I then discovered other. If I didn't do Daily Brick Limit, I wouldn't have discovered this challenge. So, and then I wouldn't have discovered other challenges. And it's about this community, and it's about just let's all
helping each other out, and not having the whole idea of talking about mental health as a stigma too. Because I think all of us, through some part of our life, will have a challenge that will cause you to have mental stress. And we talk about, if you have blood pressure problems, go get that fixed and go work on that right now. But if you have a mental health issue, people are not as willing to come forward on something like that. I mean,
if you're at home and you broke your leg, your family would tell you to go to the hospital. If you have a mental illness and you have depression or anxiety or PTSD or anything else, you probably may not get treated the same. You people would get told, get on with it, pull yourself together, and it's not treated as the same because people don't understand, and people don't understand, but just because people don't understand, because if they don't experience it themselves, most people will understand physical illness because they can see it. I can understand, okay, your leg's broken, I can see it all floppy, that looks, but they can't see if if your head is all foggy because I suffer really from anxiety and other things where like I find it really hard to make decisions. I find it really hard to kind of do lots of things because it's like my brain is racing over and over time. But and then sometimes I find it hard. Sometimes people ask me, like my wife was like, I can't describe how I'm feeling. That's the problem. There is no words, which is
Right.
it's hard to
When
describe.
somebody is going through that, it's hard to describe, and people also don't understand, especially if you have all of the creature comforts around you. It's like, why are you upset about that, or why are you depressed? You shouldn't be depressed because you've got everything you could possibly want. Well, it doesn't always work that way for people.
And this is sort of, I always everyone views their life through their own lens, and so what may be minor for someone could be major for someone else. And
absolutely,
we are all different. We are all kind of, and there's no right. But it's about, as long as we try and better ourselves, try and sort of, I mean, one of my favorite expressions. There's a lot of people use it, but there's an street artist in Brighton who's done this really cool picture of a bunny, and it has the words underneath in it, which says, "It's okay not to be okay."
Yes.
And that to me is one of the things I kind of think this is what it's going to be. I want to partly use this month for is to say to people, it's okay. You don't have, if you're not okay at the moment, that's okay. We are going through a very weird time at the moment.
No kidding.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's Christmas. Christmas always is a quite stressful.
Yes, holiday stress.
Holidays. We're going for a world pandemic.
Global pandemic. Yeah.
Top of various other political world things. We're going for the climate. Plus, there's so many other things going on. Just us getting through the day is an achievement, and I think sometimes we need to recognize. And I know I have to do this myself. I don't necessarily. I'm the first person who would look at. If I do 10 good things, I will look at the one bad thing I've done, and I know that. And that's one of the things. It's again being.
And recognizing, recognizing that sometimes our own thought process might be flawed because we always look at our own work at a more critical lens than other people do. And
that's right. Again, doing things like these challenges and this stuff, this way, doing something like this is really good, because if you're sitting here watching the stream and going, oh, I'm not that good a builder, I can't build anything. No one, this is by doing something like taking part in this shows it doesn't matter what other people think, as long as you building it think, okay, I'm happy enough to take a picture of that. And if you build it and you're not happy with it and don't want to take a picture, don't take a picture.
Yeah, you don't have to take a photo. What we're doing is we're just doing a review. It's not a judging contest. In fact, I should have mentioned that when you build these, we had talked about possible prizes, but we're not making this a prize competition. What this is an awareness. And also, if you want to donate to a mental health charity to help them out, then that would be the best reward ever. So what we're doing is we're just asking people to build. We're not asking people to, if you want to like me and Brighton Bricks on Instagram, that's fine. But that's not really the important part. The important part is just build and use that hashtag Mind the Brick, and also hashtag rebrick this, so we can see it when we do the review. And then we will know what you've contributed. And if you want to add something that said, you know what, I made a pirate ship out of this and it made me feel so good. That's all we need to know. And in fact, we don't even really need to know that. All you have to do is, I built this, and whatever you feel yourself, that's what's the most important thing.
Yeah. And it's about how open you want yourself to be. And this is the thing, the idea I'm trying to this month is get people to be more open about mental health, but that doesn't mean everyone has to blurt everything out. This
Mm-hmm.
is all about, again, our own comfort levels and our own, if people do, and that's, again, this is, I think with Lego, to me, there's no wrong thing to do it. It's whatever way works for you. It's
Mm-hmm.
wherever makes you feel comfortable and go, okay, yeah, I.
Right.
If you
And
just
it doesn't
want some,
matter the colors are already chosen for you. They're all in here. You don't have to say, well, maybe that should be a different color. It's all here. You just take whatever's inside the box and build it. And yeah, Joel was saying, Nick read my mind. I'm not a good builder. I can't build anything. Like that's your interpretation of yourself, but others may feel that you have built something quite nice.
I also think it's a case of, yeah, I think so. Sometimes the issue is we all look at all these great mocks and builds and think, oh wow, I
Mm-hmm.
should be that. It's about judging people. Don't judge people on other people's standards. Judge yourself on your own standards, and go.
Right.
You can look at it and go, that was a good build for me, or that wasn't a good for me because I know I rushed it. I didn't pay that much attention. But you just got to judge it on your own standards, not on, oh wow,
Right.
that's so amazing thing. I posted it on Instagram. It only got 10 likes, yet someone had got 1,000.
That's
None
this
of that matters.
comparative
Yeah,
feeling in our in fact, I can tell you right now, I have anxiety over the fact that, okay, I'm so close to 1,000 of followers, and then it made it to 1,000 on Christmas Day, and then it dropped. And I said to myself, does it even really matter? Does it even really matter? Because it's just a number in the end,
yeah.
right?
I mean, it's one of the things where it matters to the extent where you want to go more because then you can reach more people and help more people and stuff like that. But
Right.
it is about quality. It's better to have, that's why I always think it's all these things. It's about quality rather than quantity. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you got 100, if you got 100,000 followers, but yet no one really pays attention to you.
Yeah.
No one comments on
Or
your stream. But
if
yeah, I mean, I'm
they're
reading it.
following you for something that
Yeah,
maybe isn't, you know,
I mean,
I don't
I'm
want to
just
go down this road, but let's just say there's people who have thousands, millions of followers, not for their content, but for
yeah,
something else.
yeah,
But I think what we're doing here, we're raising awareness for mental health, and I want to say mental health too, because a lot of people say mental illness when it's not always a mental illness. It's just maybe that your mental health for that day is not
yeah.
not
And
as pleasant. Yeah.
yeah, and this is what again I want to do. Part of this is trying again breaking down the stigmas and stuff. But it's
Hmm.
not like people will say mental illness and think, oh yeah, it's got to be severe depression, and severe this, severe that, or it's where you're hospitalized or you're instituted.
Hmm.
It's not literally. If you depression can hit, I mean, the stats in the UK, I don't know what's in the US, but it's like 1 in 4 people in the UK will suffer from a mental health issue
Hmm.
sometime in their life. And I like to use the word issue rather than sometimes illness because
Yeah.
issue it can be, and some of it can be life. You could be living this with your life for life, and other times it could be more. You're going for a certain period of time. You have had a bereavement in the family, or you've lost a job, or something like that. That can cause depression and can cause anxieties and stuff like that. Which and they're no less real than people who've got it because of chemicals imbalances in
Hmm.
the body. It doesn't matter why or what you got, and it
Right.
doesn't matter if you how severe you're not. And one of my real pet hates is again, I don't know how it is in the US, but in the UK, unless our mental health service is quite, I think, a bit poor, to be honest. And I think a lot of it is because unless you've severely got severe issues, you don't get treated. So there's almost, there
Mm.
has been, and I know of cases where people will go to extreme lengths to get help, and that could end up causing suicide attempts and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because they know they won't get seen helped unless they are seen as urgent.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so,
we have I think some really good options here as far as I believe the code is I want to say 988. that you can call that number, and that would give you somebody you could talk to. And you don't have to have any. I'm I'm going to look at the SAMHSA site because this is very important. I want to make sure I have.
I have got on my website. There's a 1-800 number, 1-800-985-5990, or you can text "Talk with Us," all one word, "Talk with Us," to 66746. So that's at the Samsung Disaster Distress Helpline, and they will say trained crisis workers will listen to you and direct you to the resources you need. So there are, and then if you're in the UK, we do have a thing called the Samaritans, and that you can call them free on 116-123. And again,
I did get the number right, by the way. So it is 988. It's America's Suicide Prevention and Mental Health Crisis Lifeline. So this has been funded by our government dollars from Health and Human Services. And this is why I was mentioning about SAMHSA, this the government's organization that focuses on mental health issues. But I wanted to make sure I got the number right. So it's the 988 instead of 911, which is an emergency with regard to the fire department and what have you. 988 is a line that everybody should know about in the United States, that this is some place where you can get some help. So I wanted to make sure that since we're talking about mental health and resources, that's something that we all know about.
But yeah, I mean, going back to what I was at is, I mean, they say mental health doesn't necessarily have to be that, it doesn't, mental health doesn't necessarily mean you're feeling suicidal or anything. It can just mean, it can mean loads of things, and there's loads of areas, and sort of, and that's what also make people, just because if you feel like you are going through depression or anxiety at the moment and you've never had it in a moment at all before,
being able to call a number.
You haven't done anything wrong. This may be circumstances which are put onto you. This is just your body's reacting,
And reach out to AFOLs too.
Yeah.
I found that just when you're having, I'll just tell you very quickly. And before I do, I wanted to just mention, Glenn confirmed that this was from the Federal Communications Commission, that designating 988 as a nationwide digit number. So that's something that we've done here in the U.S. And also I wanted to also check in with Hooded One. Yes, we saw that it doesn't matter about the followers, just keeping in touch with the people that you like. That's what's the most important thing. But I also just wanted to say that, this AFOL community, I've been going through a really tough time with my dad being in the hospital. And I've had several people share with me their personal stories of very similar instances. And I don't want to call anybody, but one of them's in the chat. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And about a similar situation where they had to move to help an ailing parent. And then two other AFOLs reached out to me as well and mentioned the same circumstances. And I didn't reach out to them saying, hey, somebody reach out to me and tell me what I'm going through is normal. But I just wanted to say this AFOL community is very special. It is extremely special. And to be able to be a part of this with you, and I hope I get to meet you in person someday. I know that we're going through a global pandemic, so it may be several years from now.
Yes, it's like,
your invitation to talk about mental health in a positive way through Lego, it is such a blessing. And I just wanted to thank you so much for that. It really means a lot.
No, it's my pleasure. And I really thank you for allowing me to do this. To me, it's one of those things where I feel, we all should be trying to help each other, and we all should be, and again, going back to what the story you just said about AFOL's help. One of the things I think to me Lego is really good for is that, and I use this in workshops, is an event, because if you're meeting with people you don't really know, having Lego is something you can talk about without having
in common.
If you don't know what else to talk about, so in some ways, talking to a fellow AFOL will come to you, maybe share the stories with you, because they already got a kind of bond with you over Lego. They know what sort of Lego you like, or they know. So they feel more relaxed, rather than that. And I feel I do this with events and stuff like that, you know, where people you don't know each other, but because they're building, they are, you know, again, you just building whatever you're building together. People feel a bit more freer to talk, and if you literally, that's what's really good for. Also, it's one of the reasons I think Lego's really good for people who are introverted and stuff like that, because of people who have isolation issues, you know, loneliness and stuff like that, because it allows them to basically interact with people. And if they don't know what to say to people, you can always just say, "Can you pass me the yellow bricks?
Yes,
Can you pass
please.
me the blue bricks?" You know, and then it
Yeah,
can go,
you
"Oh,
don't have to say much. You can
yeah,
just be a part of this building
yeah."
community. And
I mean,
but
that's
there have been a few that have been gone above and beyond,
yeah,
where they've shared their personal stories
that's
about what has happened in their life, which is very similar to what's
yeah,
happening to me right now. And that's why I'm so excited that you invited this. And I want to make sure that January 30th, just so everybody knows, we'll do the Rebrick This review. It's a review. It is not a judgment, and it's no prizes. We're just going to do a review because we do want to see what people have to offer. And go introverts. Yes, go introverts. Yes. And Lego is the best icebreaker. Well, thank you again. I'm just so delighted to meet you. This is also, just so everybody knows, this is the first time that I've met Nick in person. We've been
yeah.
exchanging text messages and just getting all of the logistics set up today. It's been a delight meeting you, and really appreciate
That's
everything
really
that you've
great.
done for the Lego community. And I think too that this is your first appearance on a live stream, so I
It
hope it
is,
went
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I
Hasn't
hope you
I
weren't
still
too anxious.
the bit, yeah, yeah, it has affected my. It's the bit I still can't get because I'm still trying to work out which screen do I look at myself, or you. It's like, and I still keep on looking at myself and can't work out what's left or right. So
It's
if I
okay.
keep moving my hand, that's why I'm doing. It's like, yeah, where? Yeah,
I don't think anybody noticed. And
no,
honestly, it's just,
I'm
I'm
not.
very thrilled that I could help introduce you to the live
Yeah.
streaming world. And wanted to say, I can't wait to see what everybody has in January, and you'll be back. So
Yes, I will. But yes,
thanks again, everybody. And thanks for tuning in to the Brickanisa Broadcast Network. And after I shut the stream down, if you can hang out for a few minutes, Nick, it'd be great to follow up. So thank you, everyone, for hanging out. And as they say on the Brickanisa Broadcast Network, may the clutch be with you. Take care, everyone. Bye.